A new index shows that crime in South Africa has reached its lowest levels in more than a decade. But do the numbers reflect the reality? Let's talk to David Wilson from IHS, the group which compiled the index. David, thank you so much for chatting to us. So what picture does this paint about the crime situation in South Africa?
Okay, well, one of the problems that researchers have had with measuring crime, over time and across regions is that crime is very disparate. So you've got different types of crimes. You've got murders, you've got shoplifting, you've got burglaries of motor vehicles. And all of those crimes combined is difficult to make a picture, because if murders are going up in one case, but maybe theft from motor vehicles are going down, it's difficult to get a handle on that. So what we've tried to do is to combine all of that into a single index. So we weight each type of crime according to the seriousness of that crime. Murders are the most serious, and I think shoplifting we have is the least serious. And then we can come up with a single number, which from the kind of the face of it has shown that crime in South Africa has come down kind of quite nicely from about 2002 or 3, and it's flattening out now, but it is at one of the lowest levels that it has been in the last 15 years.
And where do you get your raw data from? Is this your own research, or do you base it on SAPS figures?
Okay, well, there's two very important indicators that you need to measure crime trends. The first is population numbers, because you need to look at the crime versus the size of the population. If there's a large population in one area, but then there's a lot of crimes that are happening there, you need to account for the fact that there's a large population. So population is important, and that's compiled from Stats SA data, from a lot of other sources, but from our own internal models as well. But then the crime numbers come directly from the SAPS. So the more frequently those are published, the more often we can update our index.
Do you trust the numbers that you get from the SAPS?
I don't think that the SAPS themselves are doing anything nefarious to the data. There is obviously the possibility for underreporting, but remember that what we're really interested in crime trends or relative sizes of crime rates across the regions. So if underreporting is just roughly the same over time, or roughly the same across space, then that should account for itself. That, and the fact that the more serious crimes tend to be reported more often, and those receive a higher weight. So that also sort of corrects for itself. So although the absolute levels might not be accurate, the trends, once accounted for in an index with population, those are probably fairly accurate.
But certainly the trend then is positive, given what you're reporting today, that crime is at its lowest in 15 years. Once you've compiled this data, what do you do with it? What are you hoping to do with this information?
A lot of this data gets used by researchers internally. We have a risk service, so we rate risk levels of different countries around the world. We do something similar for the internals of South Africa. Businesses use this, investors will look at these sort of numbers, a lot of our clients, and there are some government clients that subscribe to our data services, and they'll also use this for planning purposes.
Thank you so much for your time. That was David Wilson. He is with IHS.
News that moves. eNCA.com.